IT development manager at Mitre10 New Zealand, and I was one of the developers in this app.
I'm the senior DevOps engineer at Mitre10, and I was a little bit of everything in this project.
Hi, I'm Glenn. I'm a principal consultant at Datacom in our SAP Digital Innovation Business Unit. I run the SAP AppHaus here in New Zealand, and my role in this was to help get the ideas out of the geniuses who were in the room to get the app out the door in AppGyver.
From our side, it was a great experience. It was a wonderful experience to collaborate with our working partners, Datacom, remotely. We all were remote, so it was. We had a couple of online whiteboard sessions to start with, and with all the team members being remote, it was quite a different experience than we would have done it in room. So designing a sustainability solution for the greater good is what we aimed for, right? And yeah,
I think it was a very, very good experience. Something that was totally new for me. I can say some really exciting opportunities using, solution like a no code, low code kind of thing. Can speed things up. It's very, very excited about this technology.
I think the key driver for us as a SAP partner here in New Zealand was to find a customer who was keen to approach this. And I think the Mitre10 team indicated that passion to want to do it. That's what got us involved. There've been other challenges and events in the past, and it's just getting customers at that stage of maturity where they're willing to try something and do something in this space. So having both Guy and Abby and with a couple other team members helped us get into this. And the fact that we were pitching and playing against other teams around the Asia Pac region gave us a little bit of a jump start, I think, as well, to realize it wasn't just a very localized event. It was pretty much quite a broad event within our region. And we're quite interested to see what the other teams did. And I think we learned working together, but we also learned watching and seeing what the other teams did and presented in the challenge and in the event.
The main purpose behind the app was around the sustainability and how we can benefit the community by using something like this. In our case, was recycling batteries. That was a very interesting user case.
So it was a proof of concept. So we do not have a commercial availability or use case right now, but we would like to pursue this, as we said, for the greater good of the community in personal capacity, or if we go the organization way. So, yes.
I'd actually had a power drill that the battery worked and the drill broke. And so when we got to the brainstorming session for the problem, and Guy and Abby said, "Hey, this is what we're doing at Mitre10." I'm like, "Guess what just happened to me?" And they went, "Oh," and we kind of got onto the Miro board and just started to literally spitball and basically ideate around what a solution could look like. And we worked out quite quickly that within their domain, they've got products and product parts. And we said, well, what if I had a product where part of the product was working and the other part wasn't? What could I do? And they said, well, we could actually pull up product IDs, and we could look at a switch, or Guy was saying there's a whole renewable sustainability drive that Mitre10 have. So for example, batteries, you can go to a Mitre10 store and put it in a recycle bin, but what else could I do? And I think we came up with quite a broad concept to either recycle the product, replace the product, or replenish. And part of that meant you could donate part of it or give it away, and someone else who had another working part could use it. So I think, Esme, what worked for us in this was that the idea came from both a corporate need that Mitre10 are looking at, but also it was a very personal experience that I had as a person who likes power tools. We used the AppHaus design thinking methodology because Datacom is an AppHaus partner here in New Zealand. But the folk who leveraged the product really were Abby and Guy. They were the guys who got stuck in and got really hands-on with AppGyver. We had a bit of a play. We put together a bit of an early prototype. I threw something on and I went, hey, look at this. And they went, oh no, please don't do that. So we got the professionals involved to pick it up. So I was kind of helping to guide some of the business problem and the articulation. But I think these guys really picked up the product and did the heavy lifting. So yeah, over to you two.
For us, for me especially, it was a great experience to explore a no-code solution. So I've got a developer engineering background, and I can build this stuff, right? So going from something I can do to something that's brand new and for a person or for a team of people who cannot code was something good. So in that designing the solution with using the SAP's tools available, because we are going the SAP way at Mitre10, so was really good. I think we believe we gained quite a bit out of the SAP toolset in this short experience with the hackathon that we had. The team experience was a bit different as it was mainly remote. So again, I've already covered that. It was quite challenging. It was interesting the way we did. I mean, as compared to sitting in a room and doing a hackathon, to juggle the timings and processes. But overall, the experience was pretty good.
Yeah. And from my side, I come from a operations background. So as you can imagine, development is not my strongest point. And having something that's like no code, it really makes things easier to for any sort of application. If I want to create some internal application, it's really easy, and the experience was really good. It's amazing what you can do. Took a little while to understand, figure out where things were, how to do things, but once you do that was great. And I helped building the UI, so I had to spend my 5 minutes doing designing. So that was good. I was happy with the results.
One of my favorite parts was watching an interaction. The three of us were online the one weekend, and we're talking about variables, and there was a page variable and a variable across the app, and the guys are kind of showing each other what they'd learned by watching the AppGyver videos and then trying something and then failing and trying, and it worked, and then it was actually rolling that into the solution. And I think, if we take away one thing from this, the great advantage of no code, low code is that rapid build. And that rapid build, fail, build, sticky success. And I think that's what I really enjoyed watching unfold. Remember, it was a 2-week challenge. And to be honest, I think the bulk of the work happened in 1 week because of work commitments and remoteness. So if you think about it, we knocked this out the park in half the time.
We actually literally built the app in 16 hours, including Guy's time of making the GUI. and then the presentation, what you did, Glenn, was the other bit, right? So app development was literally less than 16 hours, I would say. While I was attending meetings, I was learning. So the learning element was pretty good. So I watched that AppGyver Zeno video, which was, I think, on AppGyver's website and the YouTube. But I agree with Guy that there's limited out-of-box options. I mean, sometimes I felt I would just do it. I'll just code it. So so that was the most challenging bit for me, as from the development background, that I would compare the no code solution to the real coding, and I would say, is it quick or slow? So that was my main challenge. Otherwise, it was amazing, as I said, under 16 hours.
I'm working on a project here, and it's been just over a year where we've got a core app developer, and I'm about to start a new project and get 3 of them on a development build. But for us to get a screen out to the users, for us to do a show and tell, probably took us about 4, maybe 5 sprints. With the low code, no code product, exactly what Abby said, you could whack something together in a few hours, get it out to the users and get that rapid feedback. And I think that's the key advantage. The challenge then is to take that rapid learning and keep extending the application, and then obviously bed it down as an enterprise app. We also did a project with another customer in New Zealand where we built an Android and an iOS front end on the top of a Hybris back end, and we used the business technology platform, the iOS SDK and the Android SDK, and we had 2 developers on it. So again, to Abby's point, he built something that went to both platforms in one hit. I was a very strong believer in, do iOS and Android and having experience this way, I'm kind of going, actually, to get something fairly quick out the door, this is a good fit. Any developers out there, or any people, BAs or consultants, or folk who happen to sit in certain lines of business who want to pick up the no-code challenge, keep an eye out. SAP are running these app in a day workshops around the globe. And if you get the opportunity, you can work from home, learn from home. But if you get the opportunity to go get in a room with a whole lot of people, it's a great way to learn and share that experience.